welcome back to my channel. So it's the end of August and oh my goodness, August really kind of flew by for me. So yeah, I didn't get as much coloring done as I have in the past. But I felt like I was really busy, getting my daughter ready for school, and she started school last week and it was her first week at school. So it was really nice to have some quiet time. And yeah, now that the kids are back in school, I'm hoping to do more coloring. I'm going to have more time for coloring. And making a little bit more videos, hopefully. But anyway, so let's go over what I colored this month. So first of all, I want to say that each one of these pages is on my channel as a tutorial. There's only one of them that was a whip work in progress that I started off camera and then finished on camera. So I'll let you know which one that one was when I get to it. But let's go ahead and start with Hannah Carlson's books here. So out of Daydreams, set those to the side. So out of Daydreams, I did this page right here. That was a request from a subscriber. And, it wasn't really on my radar before, but I did have a subscriber who requested that I color it. And I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. The colors are beautiful. I kind of went along the same lines of the colors on the opposite page. I kind of used these colors as kind of a springboard for the colors that I used on this page. But yeah, I got a chance to use my new gold Posca in some of these details and on the mushrooms. But yeah, for this one I just used my go-to mediums, which are Neocolor 2s for the background and Prismacolor pencils. I just love using those two mediums because I'm so used to using them and it comes easy for me, and yeah, I feel like I can get really artistic with those. But yeah, so for this crow here, I really like how it turned out. Normally I kind of shy away from birds, but I'm gonna try to do more birds in the future. But yeah, I just added a little bit of that gold Posca there in that detail work, and it kind of ties it all in. And yeah, I think this one looks really good. So the next book that I worked out of this month was out of Spirit Animals, which honestly has been kind of one of the few Hannah Carlson books that I have that I've really hardly done anything out of. I think I only had, gosh, did I just have one other page that I worked in, or was it the first page? It might have been the first and only page. No. Okay, I had this one that I did back in 2019. So yeah, it only had one page done. Oh, sneak peek. I will be doing this one very soon for September, getting ready for Halloween, so stay tuned for that page. I'm still trying to work out my color combinations for that page. But anyway, so this was the page that I did this month. And the color combinations are just beautiful. I love the copper and the teals and the blues. Really came out good. I felt like I kind of struggled a little bit with her nose area. I wanted it to have a little bit more definition, but I was already getting too many layers, and you know, you can start feeling when the page is like, okay, I'm not going to take any more layers here. You might as well just start blending. So yeah, it just seems portraits for me are kind of, I'm still trying to perfect my portraits. But I do, you know, and obviously, you know, you kind of have to be in the mood to do them as well. So I'm not always in the mood to do portraits. So I'm not constantly getting that experience with working on portraits, but every time I try to do a portrait, I try to do something a little bit better. You know, work on a specific aspect of laying down that skin tone exactly how I want it. But yeah, so this again was Neocolor 2s and Prismacolor pencils. And I used a really pretty blue stickle in there. I think the color name was True Blue. It was a color that I got a few months ago, and actually this was the first time that I used it, and I really like it. It really ties in that blue and adds just a bit of sparkle. I also used, and I don't think you can really, the camera's probably not really picking it up, but I used some clear sparkle on the dragonfly wings, and I believe it was my Spectrum Noir pen. So that's what I used for sparkle on the dragon wings, and I don't know if the camera is picking that up or not, but yeah, that one turned out really nice. So the next page was out of Summer Nights, and it is this page here, this really cute sunflower page. And this one I used watercolors, my budget brand Komorebi watercolors, and I mean, I like them. I know, you know, they're budget brand, and some people might not care for them. They do leave the page a little bit rough, but when you put like I put this metallic overlay over the top. It's a yellow gold color that is included with that paint set. I put it over the top, and it doesn't feel rough. I mean, it feels a little rough, but it's not too bad. And by the way, for all of the pages that I color, and once they're finished, I always use a fixative sealer spray. It's by Krylon. I'll put a link down below for it, but they carry it in most craft stores. I've seen it at Michael's. I usually get it at Hobby Lobby. But it's just a spray fixative, and it helps keep your work from transferring onto the next page, or just kind of fading over time. So yeah, I'll put a link to that. But anyway, so yeah, this Komorebi watercolor paint works just fine for me, and I really like the colors that comes with it. So I'll put a link to that down below as well if you're interested and want to check those out. I use them quite a bit for my watercolor backgrounds. So yeah, this was all, so it wasn't all Prismacolor actually, come to think of it. I did lay down a base layer for the sunflower petals and the leaves of Tombow brush pen, and I listed the colors and the sets that those colors came from in the video for this page. So I'll put a link to that up above there if you want to jump to that page. But yeah, this page turned out really nice. I was a little worried at first because I had used my Tule Art pens to outline the leaves in it was a darker yellow color. And I felt like they just kind of blended in, especially with the background here. I felt like they just really blended in. So then I went back in with my white Tule Art pen, since I just had it laying there, and did a little bit of white outlining around just the top edge of those petals. And it really did make them pop a little bit more away from the background. So yeah, this page turned out really nice. I really liked it. And that's it for Summer Nights. Now we'll move on to the next book from Circle of Life. I did a page, and it was this Dreamcatcher page. Now I did use watercolors for this background, but they were not the Komorebi watercolors. They were watercolors, my Paul Rubens, that come in a tube, and yeah, beautiful blues, a little bit of purple, and then I used my Prismacolors for the rest of the page, and it turned out really nice as well. That's it from Circle of Life. Then we have Imagimorphia. This was another subscriber request. The subscriber just requested that I do a page out of this book, so I picked the page that I felt like doing at the time, and it was this page here, this steampunk beetle. I've seen this so many times on Pinterest, so many different ways that people had done it, but I knew that I wanted to do kind of a bronzy, coppery, metalwork look here, and then the green beetle half. So yeah, that turned out really good. Then for the background, I used Derwent ink tints for the whole page. I guess I should say that. So what I like to do for Kirby books, because they're kind of, intimidating, I find it just easier to lay down color initially with Derwent ink tints pencils, and then activate them. And once that's dry, then just go in and touch up a little bit with the Prismacolor pencils. Honestly, I think I only ended up using 2 Prismas on this page. I just did this so it's fresh in my mind. I used henna and espresso for the extra shading and color tinting in the metalwork there. And the background, so I did that with black ink tints. And so I laid down the ink tints pencil, then activated it, because I didn't want it to be a flat background like you would get with Posca pen or black acrylic paint. With the ink tints pencil and activating it with my water brush and kind of in a circular motion, I got some gradient there with lighter black areas and darker black areas, so it kind of created that effect. And then I went in with my Ranger Distress crayon in antiqued bronze, and added a little bit of that. You can check how I did that out in the video. I'll put a little link right up there for that video. And then I used my gold Posca pen again. I was kind of attached to that thing for a couple videos there. So that's it for this book. And my last and final page for this month was out of Nocturnes. And it was a work in progress that I had started, I think back in July. I started it in July, and then I ended up going on vacation, and I had just done her hair and her skin with luminance pencils. It was actually the first time I had used luminance pencils for like a darker skin tone, and that turned out really good. I like it. And her hair, I kind of started following a tutorial, but then I kind of went off and did my own thing. So yeah, I really love how her hair turned out. Now, mind you, it took forever and a day to do her hair, but I really wanted to get it just right, just how I wanted it. And so yeah, I feel pretty good about the result. And so yeah, I use luminance pencils for all of these moths, pretty much the rest of her, the image, and then the background I used gelatos. And I hadn't had that much experience with gelatos either. So that was something a little new for me, but I loved how easy it was to do the background with gelatos. I mean, I just put a little bit on my textured palette and then picked it up from there with a little blending brush and just went around, just kind of went to town on that, and it turned out really good. It was really easy. So yeah, and I did a few little accents in my Beige Posca pen, which, by the way, if you don't have a Beige Posca pen, I suggest getting one, because if you don't want to do a bright white, it's just a nice toned down highlight color. So yeah, I really enjoy using that. So I think that about wraps it up for what I colored in August. And so I am, excuse me, threw all those books down on the floor and then I had to pick them back up. But I'm really looking forward to next month, maybe starting some more fall-like pictures. You know, maybe some things with some fall leaves. There are a couple of coloring prompts, hashtags going around on Pinterest that I've already seen. There's one about coloring witches. I don't have it. I left the piece of paper that I wrote it on upstairs, but yeah, there's some coloring prompts that I'm going to be using for next month's coloring pages, and I'm really excited to do those. So that'll be fun. Anyway, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye now.